why does our body sweat? Today on Research Explored, we're going to talk about something we've all experienced: sweat. Whether it's a hot day, during exercise, or when we're nervous, sweating is natural. But have you ever wondered why we sweat? What role does sweat play in our body? Join us on this journey through the sweat glands to find out.
What is sweat, and why do we produce it? Sweat is a clear liquid made mostly of water, salt, and other things like urea and lactic acid. It's made by sweat glands, tiny structures in our skin that are almost everywhere on our body. Even though it can be uncomfortable sometimes, sweat has a very important job: to regulate our body temperature. When your body temperature goes up, whether it's because of heat, exercise, or even stress, your brain tells your sweat glands to release sweat. As it evaporates from the surface of your skin, sweat cools your body down, helping us maintain the right temperature for our organs to work properly. We have two main types of sweat glands: eccrine and apocrine. Eccrine glands are all over our body, and they produce most of our sweat. This type of sweat is mostly water and salt, and its main job is to cool us down. These glands are activated during exercise or when it's hot. On the other hand, apocrine glands are found in specific areas, like our armpits and groin. These glands produce a thicker sweat that contains proteins and fats. While it doesn't smell at first, bacteria on our skin break it down, which causes that familiar sweaty smell. Not everyone sweats the same amount. How much you sweat depends on several things. For example, people who live in hot climates tend to sweat more because their bodies are used to regulating temperature better in those conditions. Also, things like genetics, how much you exercise, your diet, and your emotions can also play a role. When you're nervous or stressed, your nervous system mainly activates the apocrine glands, which can make you sweat more in areas like your hands, feet, or armpits. This type of sweat isn't related to regulating temperature, but rather to an evolutionary response to stress. Sweat can also be a sign of what's going on inside our body. For instance, sweating too much for no clear reason, a condition known as hyperhidrosis, can be a symptom of hormonal imbalances, chronic stress, or even underlying conditions like hyperthyroidism. On the other hand, not sweating enough, known as anhidrosis, can be dangerous because the body can't regulate its temperature properly, increasing the risk of overheating. Did you know that on average, a person can produce up to 1 liter of sweat per hour during intense exercise? However, in extreme conditions, this figure can increase to more than 2 liters per hour. Also, each person has between 2 and 5 million sweat glands, and women usually have more than men. However, men tend to sweat more, since they produce more sweat per gland. Another interesting fact is that each person's sweat has a unique smell, influenced by factors like diet and the bacteria on their skin. For example, foods like garlic or curry can intensify the smell of sweat. Even though sweating is a normal and necessary part of life, it can be uncomfortable sometimes. To manage it, it's important to maintain good hygiene, wear appropriate clothing, and choose antiperspirants that reduce sweat production. It's also helpful to stay hydrated, as sweat can make you lose essential minerals like sodium and potassium. If you feel like you sweat more than usual, or that sweat is affecting your quality of life, consult a doctor to explore treatments, such as stronger antiperspirants, medication, or even therapies like Botox.
Sweat is much more than just an uncomfortable liquid. It's a vital mechanism that regulates our temperature, protects our health, and reflects what's happening inside our body. Now that you know why we sweat and how this process works, what do you think of this incredible adaptation of our body? Leave us your comments and share this video with someone who wants to know more about the mysteries of the human body. Don't forget to subscribe to Research Explored to continue exploring the fascinating world of science and biology. See you in the next video.
Investigación, exploración.